Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. It's been a while since we've done one of these. I feel like it's been a few weeks. I think our last episode was the Wednesday interview that we did,
Yeah.
which
Oh
was like what
gosh,
I
a
know. If
month
y'all haven't,
ago, over a month ago.
yeah, if you guys haven't checked that interview out, that was really fun.
Mhm.
Got some really cool from the main editor there. That was really fun. But we are back. Of course, I'm Kevin. Joining me today, Eli.
Hello there.
Hello there. What's up?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. That's cool. And Christian, how's it going, man?
I'm here sporting longer hair to show that time has passed.
Time has passed, man. Time is going by. So it's already going to be Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to everybody. It's kind of getting into that season. I don't know about you guys, but we've kind of had our Christmas tree up since since November 1st.
I'd say a little bit later, but around that time, yeah.
Yeah, beginning
Yeah.
of November. I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly acceptable.
I think that's totally awesome and
Yeah.
festive and fun.
Yeah, no, it's been festive. It's been nice, and of course, Thanksgiving is coming up right around the corner, which is always a fun holiday. You get to eat all the food, and I don't know if the holiday itself means much anymore, to be honest. But you get to show what you're thankful for, and that's what's important. We're thankful for friends and family, and you all watching the show. Thank you all for checking out the show. We really appreciate you. If you can like, share, subscribe. That helps us immensely here. On today's show, we're going to talk about Wicked. Me and Elijah got a chance to see it this weekend. We're going to kind of give our review on that movie. Then we're going to talk about other random tidbits in the cinema sphere. Before we jump into really anything, I hate to, set this off on a dour note. But today, came word that we lost a comedy legend, Jim Abrahams, he's a director, he's a writer. He co-directed Airplane, The Naked Gun, Hot Shots. He did all these really great films. A lot of films that I grew up with, kind of shaped my sense of comedy, specifically Airplane and Naked Gun. Naked Gun was such a huge influence in my house. Like, it was always on for some reason. Naked Gun and Naked Gun 2.5. Like, those two movies are incredible, which they are doing a remake of with what Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Which should be a lot of fun. He's taking on the role of Frank Drebin from Leslie Nielsen.
Taken.
Yeah, right. But that should be fun. But anyways, our thoughts and all that fun stuff is with his family right now. He's 80 years old, lived a long, prosperous, very successful life, and we're very saddened to hear of his passing. Another thing I was sad about today, actually, we'll talk about that after. But there is one thing I was thinking about on my drive home. Now, this is really off subject because it's going to take the train a little bit to the left. But I'm driving home from work. I have my music selection just playing random, and then suddenly, out of the blue, Portals comes on from the Avengers Endgame soundtrack. I'm listening to it, vibing. I start to think about Portal's scene from Endgame, get very pumped up. I'm like, yeah, like the scene is like incredible.
Yeah.
I started thinking about experiencing it in theaters. We got to watch it in IMAX, which was really cool. And then I kind of got bummed out because I started thinking of the fact that we may never have a moment like that again in cinema history, right? Like, that was such a moment that 10 years in the making. MCU fans, movie fans in general, comic book fans, everyone just lost their shit when that moment came on. It was so exciting, so cool.
The On Your Left,
all that stuff, right? Like, it was a moment. And it got me thinking, like, can you think of any moments in your mind of movies that you've experienced in your lifetime in theaters that you wish you can go back and experience for the first time again, right? So there's a few that come to mind for me specifically. Like, I start thinking about all these movies, of course, Avengers Endgame, even Infinity War, right? Like, the snap was such an integral moment to the franchise. I think of stuff like Jurassic Park, right? Like, Jurassic Park's one of those movies. I wish I can experience the whole thing for the first time. But when I'm thinking of specific moments,
I wish I can experience it in theaters, period.
You have?
No,
you have not. Never mind. I'm a liar.
How old do I look to you?
They've re-released it.
And we've never watched it
You're a liar.
in theaters.
In theaters, correct. But when I think of moments from that movie, like the one moment to me that like I know like Jurassic Park's one of those movies where like a million different images can conjure in your head when you think about it. But for me, it's the T-Rex escape, right? Like easily for me, like the eye in the window, one of the most like incredible moments in cinema history. I remember being at the theater when that scene took place. I was like, what, 13, 14? 93, right? Yeah, if I'm not
I think.
And like even at that age, I was like, this is freaking incredible. Like this is, you can feel it was something special. Like just that whole sequence in the dark. You got the ripples in the water, right? Like you hear the footsteps. You can feel the footsteps in the theater. Like it's insane. Like that's one of those moments that I wish I could just go back and relive in theaters for the first time. I think about not all of them are these big action blockbuster things, right? Like for me personally, listen, I've made it abundantly clear my love for Titanic on this podcast. I absolutely adore Titanic with a passion, and I will not back down on that fact that it's one of the greatest films ever made.
You should get a tattoo of it somewhere.
I probably will at some point. But there are scenes in that moment. Again, that's another one of those movies where just different scenes can conjure up for different people. One of my favorite scenes in that whole movie that just really clicks for me, and every time I think about it or watch it, it really, really it gets me every single time. It's the scene where Kel has convinced Rose that there's another lifeboat coming for him and Jack, and she needs to go down in the lifeboat, right? And she's going down. James Cameron does this thing with the camera where it's from her view, but you see Jack, like, and behind him, the flares, light up. The music kicks in, that score, that James Horner score, just like absolutely demolished. And like every single time, it's a quick moment. It's like 30 seconds, but it like fills me with this like obviously dread because what's going to happen, but it's like this really magical moment that James Cameron put on film. Like to me, that's like the antithesis of what that movie is. Like if I was to show it to anybody and be like, hey, watch this quick clip from Titanic, this is kind of what the movie, this kind of embodies what the movie is to me. It'd be that scene. Another scene for me isn't magical. It isn't fun, but sometimes these moments just stick with you. Is I still remember watching The Mist in theaters. And have you seen The Mist?
Mm-mm.
Oh my!
I've heard of The
Mist.
I don't want to be in The Mist.
I will not. Well, if you haven't seen it this far, I mean, I don't know how much. I don't know if you're going to see it or not. So, but there's this scene at the end of the movie that literally, till this day, when I think about it, like I remember seeing it for the first time and my jaw just hit the floor. Like I was in complete shock and awe that they did that. Like I was watching it and I was like, wait, like did this really happen? I'm going to spoil it for you guys though, because
I know what moment you're talking about.
You know what moment I'm talking about. I'm sure, Christian, do you know anything about the ending to The
Mist?
Mist?
I know enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that scene, right? So like they're being surrounded by the mist. The dad, played by Thomas Jane, he's in the car. He doesn't really have much, hope left, right? They're closing in on him. So he takes the gun and he shoots everyone in the car, including his son. Literally, right as he's about to do himself, the mist clears up and the military comes in and rescues them. Like literally within 5 seconds. It was the most heart-wrenching and heartbreaking moments I have ever seen on film. And it's not one of those things that I particularly want to experience again, but it was one of those moments where you think about and you're like, holy crap, they did that. Like it actually had that visceral reaction in you, which was fantastic. And, scenes like those are just some examples of like scenes you wish you can experience again for just kind of the first time, just to get the reaction. What are some of your guys, Christian? Do you have any that you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, a few. There's one scene in particular where Edward Norton comes to in a hotel room and he's sitting across from Brad Pitt. And we get a big revelation.
That's on my list too.
That again, I had no idea what I was walking into when I went to go see that movie.
Ah,
That was awesome. And like kind of on that same note, um, that's kind of been popular in the last couple of weeks of like people showing their kids The Sixth Sense for the first time, and recording their reaction to the ending. And it's really cool to see people like the whole time, like just to
Do you know the
realize.
ending to The Sixth Sense?
I don't think I've ever even
Oh,
watched.
you should do that with Eli. Eli, you should watch it. I won't say anything. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's quite and then even like movies like Inception, things like that. There's one to a lesser extent. I didn't see it in theaters, but it really stuck with me, especially in my college years. Mulholland Drive.
Oh
That
my
was
god,
something that I would watch on repeat.
that movie I had to. It's one of those movies you have to watch multiple times to
Yeah,
truly
I
understand. I don't even
still.
think I still know what it's about, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I have a vague understanding, at least in my brain, of like what I think Mulholland Drive is.
Mm.
And I think that's all we get to have, all we need for any kind of David Lynch movie. I did see, coincidentally, I saw a funny meme. I reposted it last week. That like directed by David Lynch. If you just put that sticker on your window, it just makes life right
I saw
now
that.
make more sense. But yeah. I don't know.
Well,
I think there's obviously like the big. I was thinking of that Cap. For me in Endgame, it was when Cap catches the hammer.
oh,
That was
yeah,
the
yeah.
big like. Oh god, that was
100%. Yeah.
awesome.
The music
Yeah,
cuts and you just hear everybody else in the theater go wild as it pans over to Captain America.
it will always it
Mhm.
puts a smile on my face every time I think about it, no matter what I'm doing. It gives me the same feeling I think of when I think of Freddie Freeman hitting that grand slam on the 10th inning of Game 1 of the World Series. I think of the same thing. It's
Right.
always going to bring a smile to my face.
It's so
So
good.
yeah,
It's that movie is full of those moments that just like, and like I said, the sad part is I can't. Obviously, we still have decades of cinema ahead of us, right? Like
yeah.
this isn't the end all be all. So
Especially
there's a
me.
big possibilities. Yeah,
I mean,
but like
okay, I'll say it. Rise of Skywalker tried their hardest to pull that off,
they
at the
did.
end, and
They,
that was like a wah, wah.
that was
Like
like
I
a
was just like,
bump.
yeah, I was like, okay, that didn't.
Yeah,
I know exactly what they were trying to do, but like, sorry
exactly.
guys.
What about you? Can you think of any moments that you would? I mean, yes, okay, I understand. I haven't been the best father, and I haven't taken you to see all these movies in theaters. All right, I understand that. But are there any movies or moments that you specifically wish you can watch on the big screen for the first time? Like for the first time ever?
Ultron coming out in Avengers Age of Ultron with the Pinocchio theme.
God, what is the matter with you?
A lot of things.
Obviously, like I said, I'm sorry I failed as a father. No, actually, that is a cool scene. Actually, that's one of my favorite parts of that whole movie in Age of Ultron when he's unleashed
Yeah.
and you just have them. There are no strings on me, like the in the background. I thought that was really well done. I thought that was really cool. Any other scenes? Like Jurassic Park would be really cool to experience for
Yeah.
the first time on the big screen.
Tenet would be too. But then again, that was my fault.
Yeah, because you didn't get your chores done.
But still, that would have been amazing to see a Boeing 747 crash into a warehouse.
Yeah, that was really cool. And speaking of Nolan in theaters, Interstellar is re-releasing in theaters in IMAX for its 10th
Ooh.
anniversary this
Oh my
next month.
god,
So that'd be cool. Another surprising
10
movie.
years already.
Yeah, another surprising movie coming to IMAX. Actually, at the beginning of January, it's the brand new 4K restoration of Seven is going to be re-released in IMAX, and
That's
it's also
worth
going
it.
to have a 4K release on physical, which is going to be freaking awesome. And I've kind of like, there's some movies like you want to experience with people for the first time in certain situations, right? Like I have a Blu-ray copy of Seven that I haven't even opened yet because I'm like, I want to watch it with this kid. But like Seven is another one of those movies that's just almost like a perfect movie. Like
Yeah, if it's a clinic,
moment-
if you want to get into filmmaking,
it is.
Seven
So we're
is
definitely
an absolute clinic. Yeah.
that's going to be one of our goals. That's going to be next year. We're going to go watch that in
Mhm.
IMAX because that's a good one. Interstellar. I unfortunately missed Interstellar in theaters the first time around. Not gonna lie, I didn't see it in theaters. I only saw it when it came out to Blu-ray. But I'm looking forward to seeing the IMAX release. I think it's going to be really cool. Other movies kind of returning to theaters next year. We haven't really talked about it much on this show, but Kevin Smith has regained the rights to
Dogma,
which
yes.
is freaking.
I did
Finally,
see that in
like,
theaters. That
so did
was
I.
fun.
I
Yeah.
was actually working at the
I have
theater.
not seen a single one of his movies in general.
Yeah, you have.
No.
Yes. I was watching, I worked at the theater when that movie came out, and I was upset that we did not get protesters. I was so mad. I was offended that nobody showed up to protest Dogma. I was like, what? We're just like nothing up here in Washington? Why are you protesters?
Because you're in Washington. People don't care like that.
But yeah, it's he's going to be traveling with it, and he has big plans for like a 4K restoration and all these things.
That's awesome.
Dogma, yeah, it's one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies.
That's so
I
funny.
think I have the DVD, which was worth something at one point, but now that he has the rights back for it, all bets are off. So now he can probably be streaming again next year, because you can't find it currently. You can't find it on streaming or on physical media, like other than like secondhand markets and stuff like that. And those discs go for a pretty penny. You're looking at about anywhere between like $60 to like $100 for like a Blu-ray or even the DVD version.
Speaking of which, not to change the subject, kind of on the subject. We talked about this on another thing, but Kendrick is releasing. He just released Gen X. He just released pre-orders for physical media. He has this in like 160 gram vinyl. He has it in regular black vinyl, silver vinyl. He also has it available for CD and cassette. Like that cool. Is awesome that you can buy it on cassette.
I didn't know that him and the other guy were under the same label.
So I think he's under. I can't remember. They're the big company is.
Because he came out and was talking about how unfair he thought that it was that Kendrick was getting all this play and promotion and stuff.
And then on top of it, so there's 2 lawsuits. There's another one today that dropped. He's actually suing for defamation, which is like, that's the one that like I didn't think he was going to do because it's going to have to open an investigation on him.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to defend it, and it's going to open up like it's going to open up a can of worms for him. So I don't know, Jake. I don't know if that's the smartest thing.
A Pandora's box of sorts.
And I it's just funny because the backlash online, like it's a rap beef, and you call the cops, dude. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
So ridiculous. But whatever,
that.
Drake.
Drake will learn his lesson, and we'll all move on.
Prison with Diddy, hopefully.
Man.
Any other movies that you would like to experience for the first time in theaters real quick before we move on?
Again, the Haikyuu movie again that we watched earlier this year.
Fair. No, that's cool. Yeah, that was a good movie. Haikyuu, the movie, the anime. Eli wanted to talk about something a little bit on today's show.
I don't necessarily how to bring it up. I'm not good with explaining simple things. It's weird.
All right. So there's this, I don't know if y'all are aware of a VTuber by the name of Iron Mouse.
She won the Content Creator of the Year award last year at the Game Awards.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and I don't know how much you know about VTubers, Christian, but basically they're YouTubers, they're vloggers, but they hide kind of behind, not hide, but they're basically avatars, right? So you have these, it's very anime inspired, like,
because it originated in Japan, so it's gonna have that anime.
Yeah, it has an anime flair to it. So a lot of these they're what are they?
Virtual YouTubers.
Virtual YouTubers, basically, they hide behind these things. But a lot of these people, they do it for anonymity. Anonymity.
I mean, back in our day, we had Strong Bad. I don't know.
That kind of idea.
Not the same thing. Yeah.
Well, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of the same idea in a way, right? Except they just found a new technologically advanced way to do it. Anyways, this girl, she's unfortunately very ill. Like, she actually, she's bedridden ill, and she found kind of her niche in this VTuber world, right? Like she developed this character, Iron Mouse. Anyway, she became like the most successful female vlogger ever. Like her YouTube is like millions of subscribers. Like it's great. She won the creator of the year award last year at the video game awards, which was a huge deal because she's the first VTuber to ever
be nominated,
let alone like win that award, which is very cool. And this is just more of a she didn't do anything. Like she didn't do anything. It's just more of a we got to stop being assholes. People in general, the internet is just this very ugly, vile place. It should be a place where we come together, share ideas, and share our loves and interests with people that we relate to and people that we respect and people that we appreciate, people that we want to be part of our tribe. We should go out there, look for those people, and interact with them and talk to them about cool stuff instead of bringing each other down. Anyways, this poor girl, she got basically bullied off of YouTube. Like she's
been getting bullied.
She's been getting bullied like hardcore. She put together an 80-page,
like 60, like 65 pages of like
80, as I read.
Well, yeah,
80 pages full of like all these insults she has gotten over the years,
and the Twitch bans,
like Twitch bans and everything. And she's Puerto Rican and African American.
I'm not sure on that exactly. Yeah. I don't necessarily watch her.
And there's a lot of racial stuff that plays into it too. Just words that shouldn't be used ever. This is just my message to everyone out there on the internet. Just stop being assholes. Like there's no reason for it. Stop. Like, these people have found a niche. There seems to be a pushback towards, and we've talked about this before, but there's like this pushback against vloggers and like VTubers and like all these people who are successful, basically what people call quote unquote doing nothing, but they're out there making the content, making the stuff, and you're out there watching it.
She actually does a lot of these fundraisers.
She does a lot of fundraisers. She raises a lot of money for sick kids, people who share the same disease as she does. She does all this great work. And I don't think people see that kind of stuff going on behind the scenes. They just assume that she's just, again, I say this in air quotes, like quote unquote lazy or whatever by making this content and putting it out on the internet. Like, what are you doing? Right? Like, I mean, to like, what makes you like these people have found a niche, and it's not just her. It's all these vloggers and all these things, all these YouTubers who are out there making content, doing their thing, making money off of it, finding their niche, finding what works for them and making people happy. Like, that's just it. Like, that's just the main thing. Like, we have content because of them. I spend a lot of my days on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos because I have short attention span and they work for me. And YouTube is amazing with the ADHD and all this stuff. It's incredible. I love watching YouTube. It's what I have on. It's what I'm scrolling through most of the time.
Like, sorry, but one time because she has to work in her bed, right? And her bed isn't, since she has that disease, she needed to raise money to get a new, like, more medically advanced bed to help her. And she had a time limit for, like, almost a full year, right?
Yeah.
It was done in minutes.
Yeah. Like, these people are doing really, really great stuff. And I'm just kind of sick of this weird pushback against, like, vloggers and all these things. And I just think it's kind of ridiculous that people would even push back against that. It's just kind of where we're at now in society. This is working for people. There's no need to tear them down. Like, we're on here, we're not making any money doing this, but I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking about things that I love talking about. And if I was able to make a living on it, you better believe I'd be doing it right now, right? Like 100%. So, not trying to get up here preachy or anything, but just simmer down, everyone. Simmer down.
And her friend, who I got all this info from, and who I came across this info, like the whole situation from, he was saying that, like, at the start, she'd only be able to stream for like a couple hours every day, and then like every couple of days or so. Because she'd have to take meds, do her treatments, and do stuff like that. But she's gotten to the point where she's comfortable while streaming that she can take her meds and do stuff like that and
Is it
stream
the
for longer.
British guy, by the way?
Yeah.
That's the video I watched today too. But anyways, y'all be cool. Like stop bagging on people for doing what they love. It's just kind of one of those things that's been that always bothers me.
Don't
whenever I hear
don't
stuff
yuck my yum. That's the best.
exactly. Be nice to people. Go subscribe. As she's still on, I think she reactivated
She's
her
still
YouTube
on
and everything. Iron Mouse.
I don't think she ever deactivated it.
Yeah, I've checked out some of her content, and if I'm being 100% honest, it's not necessarily my thing, right? Like I'm not watching that regularly, but I subscribed and support, and it doesn't have to be in order for me just to keep scrolling and not,
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna take my time. Like, hey, this isn't for me.
Like, who cares? Who cares
just
if I'm
keep
watching?
scrolling? Then
like, this isn't for me, and just be like, you don't even have to say it. You don't even have to think it. You just can just keep going if you really wanted to.
No, absolutely, 100%. And this is just this is something else I want to talk about real quick too. Tell you, this is a kind of a ranty episode. I apologize, but we've talked about this numerous times, and I think I have a new episode of My Public Life as American Nerd coming out tomorrow, which is the audio only version podcast that we do on occasion. But we talked about singing, people singing in the theaters, right? Specifically during Wicked, and how cinema etiquette has kind of changed over the years since post-COVID, how going to the movies has become like almost like a chore to some people. Director Ang Lee he did an interview a couple days ago. He hasn't made a movie in 6 years, right? Like none of his more modern stuff has really hit, right? Like I think Life of Pi was maybe the last movie that people really cared about of his, but you have stuff like Gemini Man and all these other weird movies that he's done. But he's one of
Gemini Man.
Yeah, he's a good filmmaker, especially back in the he did some really Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like it's one of his just masterpieces. And people and I know there's this weird kind of re-examination of his Hulk, which is very different and very it's very much a different take than a different flavor of superhero movie than we'll ever get today. It's more like Shakespearean and very dramatic and just totally different. So I don't care much for it, but I respect it for what it is. Like he did something that he thought worked. But he was talking about how he's really afraid to get back into making movies because he doesn't know what to do. Like he's legitimately like, I don't even know what I'm doing now at this point. Like it's just so, the cinema landscape has changed so much.
Is that because of like the I don't want to call them failures, but like the recent movies that weren't as successful as his movies were in the past?
Setbacks, if you would.
Well, a lot of it is that, but he also brings up just that the theater going experience. Like, what are people looking for in the theater movie going experience anymore? He's like, one of his main quotes was like, you can't go to the movies and like, people can't even stay off their phones anymore in the movie theater, right? Like, it used to be a place where we would go to kind of find solace, so to speak, right? It was like a temple. Like you go there and and you watch the movie and you're able to take it all in and relax, and it's quiet. You don't have all these screens going on. It's a very meditative type experience, right? So he doesn't know where to go. And then there's people nowadays who just can't. Okay, this is where I'm struggling. This is where I'm very much struggling. We talked about this, about the people wanting to sing in in Wicked, and how people, there's going to be a sing-along version released on Christmas Day, and movie theaters are cautioning people against singing in the theater, which I get. I totally understand.
Well, then why are they releasing the sing-along version?
Well, they will. Well, in that version, you could sing along. Okay. But in this version that's out right now, like you sing. So I'm torn on this because I understand, like, you want to go to the movie, you want to enjoy it no matter what it is, right? It's like, you're watching a musical, you shouldn't have to deal with other people singing around you. But are we at a point to where that should possibly be expected, especially for something like Wicked, right? Like I was thinking, right? Like you go to a comedy, right? You go to a comedy movie, everybody laughs, and like, you don't have the fun police coming around saying, stop laughing, right? You all can't do this, right? But we're expected to laugh in a comedy. We're expected to be scared, ooh and awe in like a horror movie or something, right? Be frightened, be gasp, whatever, right? Why can't people who know Wicked or something of the like if I was to go see Hamilton like on the big screen, like all bets are off, right? Like I can't imagine singing along per se, but I'm going to be mouthing along pretty hard, and we'll see what happens, right? It almost kind of feels like something we should expect when going to see something like Wicked. What are your thoughts on that, Chris? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm still. I mean, I hate to be too poo-poo. I mean, like, I think there's a difference between like reacting to something, like if I see something funny and you laugh, or see something scared and you shriek, as opposed to like knowing what's like. It would be the same if I was like, Kevin, get down here. Like if I was reciting like the dialogue along with the movie, which I've experienced that too. Being a kid watching Ninja Turtles with my cousin, like he's just like, hey, Mikey, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my God, shut up, John. But like, I get it, but then I think that's smart of them to have a sing along, like, you know what I mean, a place and
Absolutely,
time.
Yeah, 100%.
And then there are movies that like that's what they do. Like if you're gonna go see The Room in theaters, that people are gonna bring like plastic spoons and throw it at the screen, and people are gonna recite the lines.
Right.
Like you go expecting that. And I think like for Wicked, at least for the people that are experiencing it for the first time, it might take away from it. From I don't know. I think
I get that. And I was just wondering what your opinion on that was.
I think I understand it, like, but I also kind of like at a concert, right? Like I think that's where it's like sing along. We're at a concert,
absolutely.
Or at a live thing. Sometimes even that can be like. I've seen videos of the artists getting like annoyed by like
with everybody singing along.
Yeah, and there are times I'm like honestly like there are times where like some people are just like so like fanboying or fangirling so hard that they're like screaming the lyrics, and it's like, all right, bro, I came to see them, like
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. It's hard because I don't want to police people, but at the same time, it's like it's still to me in the theater is like be respectful of like we're not in your living room.
And that's the thing, like, actually, that's the other thing, right? You go to a concert, right, and people are singing along and having a good time, but you don't go to like a live Broadway show and sing along.
No, right, because it's the theater experience.
Is this a theater experience? So it's like, where's the line, man? Where's the line? Like that's.
But to me, it depends on the artist for a concert.
Well, yeah, I mean, a concert, I think we've all kind of at agreement, is like a concert, you're going to sing along, right? Especially if you know the band and stuff like that, right? Like that's just okay. But it's not okay to go to like a Broadway show and sing along there, right? Because you're paying $200-$300 sometimes for these seats. So you don't want some, you want to watch, Lin-Manuel Miranda, singing, as opposed to like,
Jimmy the homeless man.
Right, exactly.
That's not getting.
It's weird, but let us know what you guys think. I'm very curious what you guys think about this. It's just theater etiquette in general, but specifically kind of singing in like a musical that is well known. Like it's not something that just kind of came out of nowhere.
I hope In the Heights gets re-released. That movie is good.
Listen, if this is any comfort for any of you, Mr. My favorite person, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh no,
has come out in support of singing in musicals. He is supporting you going to watch the live action Moana and just yell your lungs out.
We will never go and see that movie.
So
I will wait for that one.
I'll do that just so I can to do that because he asked me to.
It was funny because I thought he was talking about Moana 2 because he was like he was talking about Moana 2 and he's like, yeah, you want to come to the theaters and sing along? Come sing along, sing your heart out. And I'm like, dude, no one's seen that movie yet. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think. I'm very curious on your thoughts. I'm conflicted about it, but I think part of me thinks you should expect it, but part of me thinks like it's fun to watch for like the first time experience without the noise, right? But like you said, Christian, it's like going to like Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? Like like you know what you're gonna get,
especially a movie that's been around for that long.
Exactly.
But like on the first month of a release, it's kind of give me some time.
This kid wants to do a midnight showing of Rocky
Damn
Horror.
straight I do. You did it.
I
don't care
I'm
if
scared.
you're old.
I'm scared.
We have to.
I've been to a couple, man. It's wild.
And
it's wild. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. All right, so let's talk about this weekend in movies. This past weekend, both Gladiator 2 and Wicked have taken the top spots at the box office. Wicked number one. Wicked number one.
Fair. It is a good movie.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Wicked in a second. But Christian, do you have any interest to see Gladiator 2? Like, let's be honest here. Iffy.
The promos and all of the interviews with Denzel that I've been seeing, and Pedro and the other guy, whoever the lead is, they all look like it just seems like a lot of fun. It seems like Denzel's at the age now where he can kind of sit back and like have a little bit more fun with things. I did see a review of it where like the whole movie's like, we must do this for Rome. Yes, for Rome. For Rome. And then he's like, yeah, and then like Denzel just in his like normal accent. But
I love that.
I know. I think it's Denzel, so he gets away with it.
100%.
But I want to see it.
What's that?
I think I'm interested in seeing it. I don't know that I'll go out in theaters and see it. I think if I was going to see, honestly, I think I'd go out and see Wicked before I go see Gladiator 2.
Yeah, that's where kind of we were at. Well, it was obviously, like I've said before, it was my wife's birthday, so she wanted to go see it, but we also wanted to go see it. But just real quick on Gladiator 2, like you have someone like Denzel Washington, who I still believe secretly, like we've talked about this, like, are there any names that bring people to movies anymore? But I do think Denzel is kind of like secretly one of those people that people do go see his movies because he's in it, because Denzel is one of those actors that is just.
Keanu Reeves is one of those too.
Yeah, kind of sort of. Yeah,
he's had some major flops recently, even after John Wick.
Yeah, but I think Denzel, I mean, when you have someone like Denzel and you have Pedro Pascal like in the same movie, like you have these two extremely magnetic personalities, like the movie can't be horrible, right? Like there's got to be that to it. And Denzel is one of those guys who, gosh, now I just want to talk about Denzel Washington the whole podcast because I could do that.
Yeah.
Even though Fallen to me is one of his, I love Fallen with it.
I love Fallen. It's Training Day for me, man.
Training Day.
What a monster.
The only movie of his that I remember is Fences, and that's because I watched it last year.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie, though.
Did
he direct it? He directed it too, I think.
I don't know.
I think he directed
it. I had to watch Glory for school.
Oh, Glory was great. I love Glory. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about Wicked. Wicked is the new film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical.
With Ariana Grande.
Yes, this has Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, Bowen Yang. This cast is pretty stacked. It's really good. I really, really, really love this movie. I think it's incredible. It's delightful. It's fun. It's like one of those just moments you just go and like, it is long. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I also want to say, for those of you not aware, it is a part one of two parts. So please don't go in there thinking you're going to get a full movie, even though it does feel like a full movie, right? Like, I feel like if you were unfamiliar with Wicked as a whole and what it was, if you watch this first part from beginning to end, and you kind of saw where it ended, kind of leading into, you could kind of imagine where this goes into Wizard of Oz, right? Like it's that kind of ending, but there's so much more between the ending of this and basically the second act of the second part of the play, the second half of it that kind of leads into Wizard of Oz. But this it does have a solid beginning and a solid ending, right? Where like you could literally just kind of watch this and be like, oh, okay, like that's kind of how she became the Wicked Witch. And now you're off to kind of, then you can watch Wizard of Oz and be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes a little bit more sense. But I thought, man, those performances, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo just kill it. Like are just two of the most beautiful voices. Their chemistry together is fantastic. Like, it's just so beautiful to watch them share the screen together. They work off each other so well.
Yeah.
The movie's funny. It's someone I had posted my quick review on Facebook, and someone said, well, it's not really for me. It has this Disney petrification to it where it feels like kind of like just a generic Disney movie, quote unquote. But I think that's kind of what I liked about it was it had a classic. It's not Disney, it's Universal. I understand that. But it has like a classic Disney princess story feel to it that I didn't really think about while watching it. But when she brought that up, I was like, well, yeah, I think that's why I liked it, right? Because it felt like that classic Disney fairy tale story. And that's what we've all kind of like grown up on and loved and stuff like that. These princess movies that Disney does so well. That's what this felt like. It feels like one of those just in live action. Like it feels like it might be the best like Disney live action remake we've ever had. I think it's the songs are catchy. The set design, the production design, the costumes are just top notch, spot on. It's very bright, very colorful until it's not. Like it gets into these really, really dark moments. But yeah,
it knows what it wants to be and knows how to do it.
It knows what it wants to be, knows how to do it. It's got this beautiful kind of very timely message too, of treating people equally and stuff like that. And I just think it's a beautiful movie. I'm actually very
not just people.
Well, people, well, animals, but it's kind of a personification of people and stuff.
I know that.
But yeah, I'm ready for part 2. It's weird that I'm gonna say that like I'm not like particularly like excited for part 2, but I'm like there for part 2 if that makes sense, right? Like I'm not gonna be spending all year anticipating it, but I'm also like ready for it to come out so I can go watch it if that makes sense, right? Like it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch part 2. Just to kind of see how it all fits together and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend it. If you like musicals, this kid right here isn't a big fan of musicals, by the way. He kind of rolls his eyes whenever we watch a musical.
Unless it's In the Heights.
In the Heights and In the Apocalypse.
Yeah, that one too.
Okay. There's some good musicals that you like, but like for the most part, you're not a big fan, but you like this one. The 17-year-old boy watches anime, loves action movies, liked Wicked.
I think everybody can tell why, though.
Ariana Grande, we know. That's okay, though. It's okay. Hey, we all have our things. But Ariana is just fantastic. She is incredible. I think she's a great performer. She's funny. She's got perfect timing. She's just incredible. So, but for more on that, a little bit deep
cut.
Check out My Public Life as American Nerd, which drops tomorrow on audio formats everywhere, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to check that out. One thing I did want to mention, kind of for the show, since we're going to start wrapping things up here really soon, I do want to mention the Apollo Burger Toy Drive, the Pastrami Nation Apollo Burger Toy Drive that is happening in Victorville, California, up until December 6th, I believe. Stop by Apollo Burger in Victorville, drop off a toy, you get a free burger with any donation, right?
Ooh.
So you get some food.
Go down to Victorville?
Yeah, let's go. I've never been to Apollo. Have you been to Apollo?
I did. I went with Jason and Nolan, and I got the pastrami burger. My God, that thing is.
Check it out, y'all.
It's an event.
There's a Pastrami Nation sandwich named after
there is,
burger, which is really cool
in
Victorville, California. So definitely check that out.
I'll bring one of the ones on your wall to donate.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, if it's for the kids, though, totally. We'll talk about this off camera. But yeah, go to Apollo Burger if you're around Victorville, California. Drop off a toy. Like I said, get some free food.
Free food?
Yeah, you won't regret it. It's for a good cause.
It's for a very good cause. You're going to make someone very, very happy around on Christmas.
It's been like how many years in a row now that pastrami's
Oh my gosh. It's been 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Just some great work down there. So if you're in the area, I guess some set up like that in Portland, we're going to with Pastrami Nation. We'll do that. Want to take
Things
this
from
all
another
up and
planet,
down the
maybe.
West Coast. What's that?
Things from another planet, maybe.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you wanted to talk about your game that you're playing right now, real quick. Let's go ahead and just jump into that real quick. What game are you playing?
Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2. What do you think about Dead Island 2?
Very good. I love the fact that you can play off and online with people, and it's just a very good hack and slash zombie game. Very difficult at times. I found myself getting stuck at certain parts without trying to get other people to help me or waiting for other people to join and help.
It's okay. That's what makes it fun. So you're enjoying it though?
Yes.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Have you been playing any games or anything, Christian?
No. I wish I could say that I have been, but no, I haven't.
Did you? So we were talking about this weekend. Lego was having a big, their
they had the big sale. They're double points, and then they had sales on a bunch of retiring.
Did you get anything? Or I remember you had mentioned you were talking about getting something, but
I bought something like literally days before the sale. And then after I bought it, I was like, "Oh, there's a sale." The thing that I bought wasn't on sale anyway, and I already got mine for half off because I had like almost $200 in rewards. So I was.
What did you get again?
Fine. I got the one of the modular pieces. The oh my god, Natural History Museum.
Oh yeah, okay. Cool.
It was the biggest. That's actually like the biggest set I've ever got. So it was.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm so excited for that Endurance set, man. That Endurance.
Oh, that's beautiful. When is that? Like March when that releases?
No, it releases this week.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow.
It releases this week. They just announced the Da Vinci one this week. Today.
Yeah, I saw that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Did you see that one?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of his like drawing of the plane,
His flying machine.
His flying machine, but it's in Lego form. Like it looks really cool. It's with the little Da Vinci, which is really cool with his little.
Oh my god, we can recreate the Lego movie.
Was Da Vinci in that?
I think, or
no, I think that was Gandalf, man.
No, there is another one.
I think it was Michelangelo, possibly.
Oh, Michelangelo.
Oh yeah, it was Michelangelo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they were talking about how after the success of the Dune ornithopter, that they would use some of those mechanics in this. It's pretty cool. I still have that, by the way, and I haven't built it. I realize I'm sitting on a few sets that I haven't built or opened yet.
I'll take it.
Yeah, my TA was very upset about it.
What's that?
My TA was like, "How are you sitting on sets and not build them?"
Dude,
I've had that thing since like March, and I haven't opened it yet. But
I'm envious of you because I got two sets right here, two small sets. But I'm like, I don't want to build them because these are the only sets I have.
Same. That's my last
I'll get
one.
you some more sets for Christmas.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. But I saw the Pharrell one I want to build, the Over the Moon.
That's tempting. I see that.
It's not bad. I haven't built it yet, but like I'm very excited to build it. And Cassie got the Poisenta, the
Poinsettia.
Poinsettia, yeah. For me to build for her. So I'll be building.
Yeah, those are really cool. All the floral arrangements that they have.
Oh, I love the floral ones.
Yeah, those are fun.
Absolutely love the floral ones. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for checking out the show. Did you see Wicked this weekend? Let us know what you thought about it. You excited for part 2? Let us know what you thought about any of the stuff we talked about today. What movie scenes do you wish you could experience for the first time? What movies do you wish you could experience for the first time in theaters?
The Phantom Menace.
Pick one. Phantom Menace.
Your answers, Eli, every time. I'm like,
I think like
of all of the
it's so hard because there's so many. Like, I think as a whole, it would probably be something like Jurassic Park. Like, if I had to experience one movie for the first time in theaters again, have my memory erased, would probably be like Jurassic Park or like.
Okay, real fast. One series that you can go back and rewatch, no memory of it whatsoever.
Oh, the MCU.
I said a series.
I think the MCU counts.
Yeah, I think of that as a series.
Phase 1 of the MCU, or no, not phase 1, the Infinity Saga. I often think about that. I'm like, if there is one, like if I just, God forbid, ever just like woke up with like amnesia from the past like 20 years, one thing I would hope you would show me for the first time is like the MCU.
Nope, I'm making you into an older me.
No. I'm not watching Star Wars for the first. I already saw.
No.
the worst of it.
I'm forcing you to watch all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with
Oh
me.
God. Anyways, thank
And
you
One
all for
Piece.
joining us. Thank you all for checking out the show.
And Cowboy Bebop.
Really
I can't let you
appreciate
go on
it.
without Cowboy
Oh,
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop's amazing. Yeah. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. I don't know where I'm pointing. I'm pointing somewhere on here. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, I guess, if you want. Kevin Hoskinson or Kevin_Hoskinson on any of those. You can also check out PastramiNation.com, Pastrami Nation on all those things as well. Christian, where can they find you?
All the same places. Christian Nakorda, no spaces. Come find me. Let's draw.
Awesome. I think Blue Sky is going to be a thing. I haven't started my Blue Sky yet, but it's going to be starting soon. I think I'm just going to ditch X for Blue Sky or Twitter, whatever. It's Twitter. I don't care.
You can find me in the streets of LA.
Oh yeah, that's where you're playing your game.
Yeah.
Anyways, y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other, and remember to visit Art the Clown this Christmas.
That is
the movies.
terrifying.
Yeah, don't let him visit you because that always ends badly.
Yeah, don't let him visit you. The movie will be releasing streaming and digital just in time for Christmas, so y'all can sit the family down for good old fashioned fun because kids love it. The kids love it. We don't endorse it. So anyway,
We do endorse it.
Not for kids.
I
anyways,
always
y'all.
will. I'm
you
the
will.
chaotic older sibling.
Yeah, of course you are. All right. Thank you all. Y'all have a good night. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, Toy Drive Apollo Burgers till December 6th. Drop off toys. Really, really appreciate. We appreciate you. Have a good night. Have a good Thanksgiving. See you guys later. Bye-bye.